Hello and welcome to a 5-part video course on ecosystem services. This course is intended for all the practitioners in Western Balkans who are faced with the challenge of reconciling the need for development with the need for nature protection, no matter which sector they work in. So whether you are developing a new plan, strategy or program, we hope that this video series will give you guidance on how to apply the concept of ecosystem services in your own work. The purpose of this course is to give you an overview of what ecosystem services are, how this concept evolved over time, and what is its current position in the national, global and regional policies with the focus on the Western Balkan region. We will also explore how ecosystem services can be assessed, valued and mainstreamed into development planning, and which tools are available to achieve that. The course is specifically tailored for the Western Balkan region, but we hope that the practitioners from other parts of the world will find it beneficial as well. So without further ado, let's explore the ecosystem services. In the simplest definition, ecosystem services are benefits people obtain from nature. But it is crucial to understand that these benefits come from the living nature, from species, their genes and ecosystems they form through interactions among each other and with their non-living environment. First and foremost, nature gives us the food that we eat. Croplands, pastures, gardens, fish farms are all forms of ecosystems where productivity of desired plants and animals translates into our food. And some food that we eat comes directly from the wild habitats, from forests, rivers, seas. In rural areas of Western Balkans, food production still relies on traditional land use practices where cattle grazes freely on natural pastures, meadows are regularly hayed, and wild foods collected for local consumption. But to produce food, we need other services that nature provides. We need microbes to break up the organic matter in the soil and fix nitrogen that plants can take. We need bees and other animals to pollinate our crops. We need birds and spiders to keep the crops free from pests and diseases. Apart from energy for our bodies, nature gives us energy for our everyday activities. Biomass is one of the most common sources of energy, and locally sourced fuel wood is still the primary energy source throughout the Western Balkans, used for heating and cooking. Fibers we dress ourselves and our homes in, such as cotton, wool, linen, hemp, and others, are all collected from plants and animals, as are timber, some construction materials, oils, resins, pigments, and ornaments. Biodiversity is also a source of our medicine. Despite developments of chemical and pharmaceutical technologies, these industries still largely depend on the extraction of active substances from live plants. In much of the world, traditional medicines are still being used for treating common illnesses. Herbs drying in the shade are a common sight in the rural areas of this region, and home-brewed herbal infusion often replaces the trip to the pharmacy. But apart from providing us with the things we eat, wear, or build with, nature provides us with many benefits that are not that obvious. Plants, animals, and microbes break down toxic matter, purifying the water, soil, and air. They bind the soil, preventing its erosion, and help retain water that fills the springs from which we drink. They absorb excess water and prevent floods, dampen the heat, break the winds, and regulate climate locally as well as globally. Finally, nature is a place we go to for pleasure, to enjoy the scenery, to hike, bike, jog, swim, to paint and write, to study and learn from. It is a source of spiritual fulfillment, of a sense of being and belonging, with many species or landscapes being the regional or national symbols. All these services can be grouped in 4 broad categories. Provisioning services include all the direct goods such as food, fiber, fuel, materials. Regulating services are benefits such as the control of climate, pests and diseases, prevention of erosion and floods, pollination and seed dispersal. Benefits that allow recreation and visitation, helping our physical and mental health, or serve educational and scientific purposes are cultural services. And finally, supporting services such as photosynthesis, nutrient cycling, soil formation are necessary for the production of all other ecosystem services. Ecosystem services contribute to our well-being in many different ways. Not only do they give us basic materials for life, they provide us with security, they contribute to good social relations and give us the opportunity to achieve our personal freedom and values. But nature is increasingly under threat. Humans have altered 3/4 of the land surface and 2/3 of the oceans. Habitats are being lost to urban and agricultural land and degraded through unsustainable practices, disposal of waste, pollution, and fires. Species numbers and their population sizes are dwindling, and unique genetic variants that evolved over long periods of time are being lost in just a couple of decades, sometimes only within a few years. And all this is happening at an unprecedented rate. The loss of biodiversity implies the loss of ecosystem services, which has serious implications for humans, as it affects our well-being and ultimately our survival. And yet, despite the unquestionable importance of ecosystem services, they are rarely factored in policies and development plans, which only leads to their further degradation and loss. That is why there is an increasing need to integrate biodiversity and ecosystem services into plans, programs, projects, so that the benefits we receive from them are preserved. The focus of this course is on the Western Balkans. It is one of the global biodiversity hotspots and an area where development heavily relies on sectors based on the exploitation of biodiversity and natural resources, such as agriculture, forestry, fisheries, energy, and tourism. Because of this, there is a strong need to recognize the services we obtain from the ecosystems and learn how to incorporate them in the development. In the next videos of this course, we will explore the theoretical and practical aspects of ecosystem services. You will learn about how they are treated in the global policies as well as in the policies of the Western Balkan countries. You will also learn what tools and materials are available to you to incorporate the ecosystem services into your own work. To move on to the next video explaining the position of ecosystem services in the global, regional and national policies, please follow the link below. If you want to learn more about ecosystem services, we have developed capacity building programs and other tools and materials to help you with that. These materials can be accessed also by following the below link.